So 250 East wraps up the season opener at Arlington last weekend, and Pierce Brown comes out the winner. Wasn't without a little controversy, obviously with the red lights and the red cross flag situation. Shimoda had about a 3-second lead, rolled the finish line jump, and Pierce Brown passed him when he jumped it. AMA deemed it no infraction because the lights were on, but no red cross flag was out. Not going to get into that. Already did a video on that. And this was also not Pierce's first professional win, first Supercross win, but not first professional win. He did win the 2024 season finale in SMX at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. No matter how you look at it with the red lights, the red cross flags, whatever, I did think it was a great race. And it was great to see Pierce Brown, Joe Shimoda on the top steps of the box after some pretty horrific injuries not too long ago. So Brown comes out on top with his first ever Supercross win. Shimoda second, Dax Bennick with an awesome ride in third. Switching teams over to Rockstar Husky off of Star Racing Yamaha, right? And lackluster year the past couple of years. Bennick's third podium, and they've all come at season openers. Hammaker in fourth in what I thought was a little lackluster ride for Hammaker. He was a few seconds behind the top three and just never could seem to close them down. Don't know what was going on there. I expected him to be a little bit better, especially being up there off the start. Well, he wasn't really up there off the start, but he was into fourth pretty quick. As we know, Davies got into him into the first turn and kind of slowed him down for a minute, but he was up there rather quickly and had those guys in sight, but just never could close that little bit of a gap. Davies was fifth with an awesome ride from the back after being down in the first turn. I think we would kind of expect Davies to be one of, if not the fastest guy every weekend. Probably over a second a lap faster through the whoops than pretty much all of these guys, some of them more than that. He had the fastest whoop segment time of anybody in 250s or 450s. Kid's crazy good in the whoops. So kind of expected him to come back through like that. And when I said if I had to pick a champion for the 250 East, I would probably go with Hammaker. That was because he was only a few laps from getting it done last year until RJ cleaned him out. Didn't know how good Pierce and Joe would be coming off of the injuries. And Davies, a lot of people jumped on and said Davies was going to walk it. And hard to disagree with that. If you ask me who was going to be the fastest, the most consistently, I probably would have said Davies. I just thought he would have some youngster mistakes because he is pretty young, and turned out the first straightaway of the first main event, he had one of those. Not to say it's going to happen a lot, but it did happen. So he probably should have shut off the throttle and just crept around the inside and came out wherever he could have. Probably would have had a good chance at winning the race if he had done that. I was specifically watching him and Hammaker on the start. They were side by side. I had Hammaker in fantasy, so I wanted him to get a good jump, which he did. He had a wheel on Davies, and I was wondering why he didn't move over 6 inches or so. He would have closed Davies off, and none of that would have happened. But Hammaker stayed straight to the first turn, and Davies just left it on longer and ran it in there and couldn't get turned, and we saw what happened. Hammaker actually did have the fastest lap of the race, though. Davies the second fastest, then Joe. Bennick was fourth, Brown fifth, and Cody Schock was sixth on the fast lap chart. So Brown, Shimoda, Bennick, the podium, as we know. Hammaker fourth, Davies all the way back up to fifth. Drew Adams was sixth. Looked like Drew was fading a little bit there towards the end. Cody Schock actually chased him down. But I'm sure he'll get better. Heard he had a scapula injury in the offseason too. Hadn't been on the bike a whole lot. So Schock seventh, Devin Simonson with a good ride in eighth, Colin Park in ninth, Kyle Peters in 10th. And if any of you listened to the preview I did of the East, I told you about Kyle Peters. Could be he's always been a solid 5 to 10 guy. Went away to race arena cross and won a few of those championships back to back, right? And I didn't pick him in fantasy, but I told y'all he would probably be a good fantasy pick, and he was. Comes back. I don't think people even knew that he was racing. I just happened to see his name on the entry list. Comes back with a 10th. Thrasher was 11th, doing Thrasher things. I think the best finish he's ever had at a season opener is an 8th, but he'll probably win a race this year because he always does. Derek Kelly in 12th, Caden Dudney in his professional debut, 13th. Dudney was fast all day and good starts too. I was kind of surprised. He didn't look super great in futures, so I was kind of surprised how good he looked all day in Arlington. Jeremy Hand, 14th. Henry Miller, 15th. Luke Clout, 16th. Luke Clout kind of screwed me in fantasy. I had Drew Adams. Should have left Drew Adams on my team. He was a 0 handicap, but Luke Clout qualified really good, and he was like a 6 handicap, so swapped him out. Should not have done that. My bad, Drew. honestly, Drew's just a bigger kid, and didn't know how great his start would be and how well he would make his way through the pack. I expected him to be 5 to 10, but I mean, shit, if Clout could have run 12th with a 6 handicap, then that would have been a lot of points. Luke Neese was 17th, John Short 18th, Brighton Carroll, Bryce Shelley, Jalik Swole, bad night for Swole. Marshall Welton rounded out the main event. As for the points, they run obviously just like the main event finish, since it was the East opener. Pierce Brown in the lead with 25, Joe Shimoda 3-back 22, Bennick in third at 20, Hammaker 18, and then it drops a point on down from there. Davies, Adams, etc. And the crazy thing is, they head to Daytona this weekend, which obviously is not a traditional Supercross track. One of the most looked forward to races of the year, in my opinion. But that could shuffle things up a lot. How good a shape are these guys in? We know Daytona takes its toll on them. How good a shape are these guys in that are coming back off of injury? I mean, Brown's coming back off of injury. Shimoda, Bennick, I don't think he was injured last year. I can't remember. He did have some concussions and have to sit out some races. Then Hammaker coming off shoulder surgery. Drew Adams had a scapula injury. So could be interesting to see who can gut it out this weekend in Daytona.